Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to set up and install Dolphin, the GameCube and Wii emulator for the PC. It's very quick, it's very easy, and depending on your rig it should all work all a-okay, but I'll be honest right from the start, you do need a decent PC in order to run this. I've tested this on a GTX 660, a GTX 670, a GTX 760, and the games just run extremely badly on them. If you wanted to get into GameCube and Wii emulation via Dolphin, then you will need a good card in order to run the games decently. With that out of the way, let's go into the installation process. To begin with, let's first go to the website, which is here. Click on the big blue download button, and now you have a choice of which version you would like to download. You can download the stable build, which as you can see hasn't been updated for quite a while, or you can try the experimental build. For this video, I'm going to be downloading and installing the stable version, as that works with most games. You can try the experimental version, as that does work better with some games, but for this video we're going to be installing the stable version. To begin with, let's make a folder on our desktop. Let's label it Dolphin, and then we'll put the file that we've downloaded into there. Once that file has downloaded into there, double click on it and basically select yes to everything. Once that's done, you should have a folder that now looks a little something like this. Before we continue any further, I'd like you to go into that folder, right click and create a new folder and label that as Games or ROMs. For your games, they're going to need to be in an ISO format, a lot like how the PlayStation 2 disc images are. Once that's done, let's go to the main menu and open up Dolphin. Double click on the Dolphin icon and it should open up. Now that Dolphin is open, we need to tinker with a few settings. Remember, this is a GameCube and Wii emulator, so you may need to do some processes twice. Right now, we're going to sort out the configuration for the controller. So, get your control pad, connect it into your PC, and head over to Configure Controllers. It should be this icon. The first option here is for the GameCube controller. Select that, and you're then given a config menu where you can then map out the buttons as what you want them to be. Now for me, I'm using Xbox 360 controller on my PC. And when I connected this to my PC and then opened Dolphin, Dolphin automatically found and configured the controller for me already. You however may need to click on here and see X input. If you do, that should be your Xbox 360 controller, and hopefully it should auto-configure itself. If not however, I recommend that you do lay out the buttons as what you want them to be. Once you're done laying out the buttons as what you want them to be, head on over to this file here and click Save. This is done just so in case if the program ever glitches, it won't ever lose your details, as if you go into the config menu, click on your controller and find that all the buttons aren't there, you can just click on the profile settings and it should be there as what you saved it as. It's basically insurance in case something ever happens. If we go below that, the option here is for the Wii. I myself do not have a Wii Remote or nunchucks or any of the other devices that the Wii actually has, so I don't know if these actually work on the PC. If you're going to be using a control pad like myself, then you would click here, and then you will go to the configuration options for that controller. If we go into here, we should see X input again, which means that it sees your Xbox 360 pad and has auto-selected stuff. Now for me, it's also selected things in the past, but I really do think it is better that you do configure everything for yourself, just in case something ever does go wrong. Once we've got the controllers out of the way, and everything's configured to how you like it, we're now going to move on to the graphics side of things. Now we're going to click on Video, and here we should have a few options to choose from. Depending on your type of graphics card, depends on what you should do here. In this option, which has OpenGL, there's a few other settings to choose from, such as DirectX 11, DirectX 12, and software which I really would recommend that you don't touch. If you have the experimental version, you should have an option for Vulkan. If you are having any problems with OpenGL, then I really would recommend that you try the experimental version, because if you select Vulkan, this fixes a few problems that some games have, such as Shadow the Hedgehog. For now, however, let's leave it as OpenGL, to basically first see if your computer can actually run things okay to begin with, and then if it's all okay, you can go back and change these settings later on. Below this, we have the resolution options and settings. I changed this to 16.9, however you can set it to auto and it should do it for you automatically. VSync depends on if you're having any tearing issues or not. Sometimes you might need to turn this on or off, depending on what game you're playing, but generally I leave this as ticked, as personally I've never really needed to mess with it. Below this are a few other options which you can choose to mess around with, such as adding a frames per second counter to the main menu or not. If you hover over the other options, they're also pretty much self-explanatory. I myself have never used them, so for now I recommend you just leave them as they are. If we head on over to enhancements, you should see the resolution options. Again, this will depend on what graphics card you are running. For me, I'm running a GTX 970, so I just select 1080p. If you have a higher end card, then you can try a higher setting and see if that works for you as well. However, for now, I recommend you just keep it at 1080 and see if that actually works or not. Below this, we should have the anti-analyzing options. I generally set this around 2 to 4, depending on what game I'm playing, as sometimes if I have it on 4, the game can get some slowdown issues. So for now, I would just say select it at 2 and leave it at that. If we hover over to Hacks and Advance, I would generally leave those alone as well too. They do have some features that are quite interesting, but honestly, I've never really used any of them, not even once. Now that this is all done, go back to the Dolphin main emulator and select Open. From there, go to the games on ROM folder, which you made earlier, and select any games which you may have that you've put in there. Select one and click Open. A new window should open up and your game should be up and running. If you want to go full screen or take any screenshots, then just select the buttons from the main emulator window shown here and here. So if everything's worked out right, then your game should be up and running, your control pad recognised, and the resolution at 10p or higher depending on what you changed your settings to. Everything should hopefully be up and running smoothly. You can change a few settings if you want, such as changing OpenGL to DirectX 11, 12, Vulkan, or other options are available. I've only really had to do this though with 2 games however, as Dolphin pretty much runs everything via GameCube and Wii practically perfectly in the stable mode. So that's basically it. If you have any difficulties or questions, just leave a comment below and I'll try and do my best to get back to you and help out if I can. Well, that's it for this video guys. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.